What up, big bro?
What up, RL? You know I
Chilling,
can't
how
see,
you?
man. You know you gotta do it 2 or 3 times because I can't see.
Oh, it's so good. I did it a couple, but I was listening to my man's story, man. I'm praying for him. Yeah, you better
Yeah,
go get
no.
that book. I'm telling you,
Uh,
knowledge will take you anywhere, man. So,
I try to tell them all the time, man. I got out of prison. I had $200 in my pocket and hadn't been home in 20 years. So, um, and look at me now. Now I want to be the richest man in the world. I mean,
and that,
But my teacher say, if you don't believe it, who else will?
hey, man, who you telling? It starts with a dream. It starts with a vision. If you see it, there's been times I've literally been on stage and paused because I've been there before in my mind as a kid, like in that exact moment at that exact place. So if you can envision it, it can happen. You know what I'm saying?
And if you can't vision it, it ain't gonna happen.
At all.
They
At
say if you
all.
don't want it, you can't have it.
And that's why you got to watch who you're around, because if people that you're around lack vision, they will try to look down upon your vision and the things that you see
Wow.
yourself having. So it's all about who you surround yourself with too.
Man, and some of the books I read say your family can be the worst ones.
Man, listen, my man just said he got kicked out of wherever he was living, right? That
Yeah.
might have been God getting him and removing him from a situation that lacked the vision that he needed. So the reality of it is, sometimes what you think is a curse is a blessing. It done
Speak
happened to me a million times, man.
speak the truth. Man. Um, how you holding up right now, man, during this pandemic?
I'm holding up really good. I feel bad I got a 3-year-old. So I have a 24-year-old, but then I have a 3-year-old daughter now. And, she's used to interacting with kids and stuff like that. And now we literally have to do like drive-by birthday parties. You know what I'm saying? Like wave out the
Yeah.
window. And I feel bad for her. But besides that, truthfully, if you have a skill that you worked on for a long time, you can continue to work. Like I know artists that don't even know how to work a studio, that's been in the industry forever, but don't know how to record themselves, halfway produce nothing, produce vocals, arrange. For me, luckily, since I can do that, I can't go nowhere. Cool, let me go downstairs to the crib and work because I invested in myself. Some people didn't. So for me, it's really kept me in tune. The only other thing that I was worried about was the gym. But luckily, a few months ago for my birthday, I bought like this crazy digital in-home gym. So I get up at the same time I did before the quarantine, do all the things I did before. I just don't leave to do them. So luckily, I was prepared. I feel bad for cats that ain't prepared, man, for real.
Right. Yeah, because this a crazy time, man. What we going through right now. My kids are the same way. We've been quarantined going on 11 weeks now. So I went in early, and I'm planning on coming out late.
Right.
I only go out when it's absolutely necessary, when I feel that I have to.
Right.
But other than that, I feel safe in the house. Last night I drank something cold and I got a little thing in my chest. I'm scared to death right now. Woo-wee. I don't.
Now we know. I don't even envision that. That ain't even what it is. But I be
I
feeling the
can't
same
help
way.
it. I can't
I
help
feel the
it.
same way.
I go outside, I'll get back problems, my head hurt, my stomach, my legs, my knees, feet, all kind of stuff be going on, man. My mind be playing tricks on me. That one that the Ghetto Boys did. My mind playing tricks on me, homie. It be playing tricks on me, man. And I just feel safe right now in the house because there's so many unknowns to this virus that these people just don't know, and for them to be giving out advice and letting people out right now, I think is absolutely insane. I don't know. We should at least have a little more insight about what's going on with this virus before we send people out. I think it's gonna be ugly. This next wave is gonna be real ugly.
Yeah, what scares me isn't so much the virus. What scares me is the people in charge of handling the virus. If you can feel me,
Yeah.
I don't really get political or whatever, but this is. I feel like in a minute it's going to hit rural areas, them areas that really went to the polls, to vote a certain way, and it's really going to show. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm worried about the inner city, but I think we got us. I think that when our backs are against the wall, we've proven that we our our ingenuity will get us out of there. We'll find something. You know what I mean? We'll figure it out. So I'm just worried about a lot of people that are lost and following a lost leader, saying it's okay, we gonna open back up. I don't trust that.
And actually picketing and carrying guns to open back up, demanding to be opened up. Scary times, scary times.
Man,
Now I see you got a concert schedule, a free concert schedule for May the 22nd.
yeah,
What's going on with that?
it's a virtual joint. It's gonna be with like a 3-piece band behind plexiglass and everything. Big Bro Keith Sweat, Teddy Riley, they've been putting things together to find out ways to be able to give content to the fans, because there were so many shows that have been postponed, and we know people are at home. You know, you got the Versus with Swiss and Tim, that's incredible. And TV One, I just did their Unsung Live from the crib, but just trying to find ways to give content because people want it. You know, people are at home, and a lot of our shows, it's going to be a bunch of reruns because they can't take new episodes. So it's like, what do we do? How do we give them content?
No doubt, no doubt. Now, how did you and the members of Next get together?
Well, they're real biological brothers, same mom. And I met our big brother, Tilo, going to a gospel great's house from where I'm from. His name is James Greer and Company. So he has this big gospel group, and I would go to him for advice. I was a kid learning about arrangement and harmonies, and one day he had his godson there in town visiting, and he was just riffing along, you know, singing a little bit, and I never forgot it. I don't know how, because I meet so many people, but God must have been in the room. Next thing you know, a year and some change later, I have a show, and I end up just calling, you know, to ask James about his nephew, and he's like, it's funny you asked me. He's actually in town, and he was asking about you. So they invited him to my show. He came out, and I integrated him and his brother into the group I had, and kicked one of my members out, like, you got to go, buddy.
So he was like that.
He had brought his brother along, who was super talented as well, and we just clicked. And it was like, okay, I could tell this was the mechanism that was going to get me out of my mama house. You know what I'm saying?
Which was important.
Most definitely.
And she was probably glad when you left with all that noise.
Well, you know, I graduated high school and had a full scholarship, but I didn't graduate. I graduated a few months before we got our deal. So I was still in high school while I was in the group, you know, as far as Next, we had a different name, but I was still, you know, in high school, so I had to live at home. But I think it was more so her seeing that I was taking a positive path, because everybody around me wasn't necessarily doing it. Sometimes either you have to remove the negativity from around you, or you have to remove yourself from it. And luckily I was transplanted to KG from Naughty by Nature's. He had a back house, and we all had air mattresses. It was us three, and then it was Jaheim. And we all slept on the floor right by each other, shared a bathroom, and worked on records because we was hungry. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. I bet magic came out of there.
Man, I really think so. It's funny because there were records that I did years before that Jaheim did, like Just in Case. I had done that 3 or 4 years before it came out. So it was like, just to see the growth from somebody like Jaheim, because he comes from a pretty rough upbringing, and to see him grow and refined, it was like, man, it was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? So we can all look back, and like even KG, I talked to him today because I hit him from my studio, and he remembers me waking up as soon as I heard the door open so I could come down and sit by him and learn. So for him to see the growth, I know he's like a proud dad or uncle, and that means a lot to me. I feel like there are people that I looked up to that I don't want to let down. My cousin's Philip Bailey from Earth, Wind and Fire. So there's people. Yeah, there's people.
Oh, you
that
come
are
from
watching.
a musical background.
Yeah, you know, people are watching, so I got to keep the legacy going as best I can.
No doubt, no doubt. When did you decide to go solo?
I really didn't. It was really just, all I do is record. Other cats have other interests, whether it be motorcycles, speaking, meditation, different things. Dude, all I do is this. I wake up, gym, family, this. This is all I know. So there's so much music. I slang some to different artists on. I do some on my group. I just do some on me. I look at it like I want every opportunity God puts in front of me. So it's not about going anywhere. I have other interests where I can do a project with these artists. I can work on this project. I want to do it all.
Staying versatile. Now, do you like writing or producing more, or performing?
I like performing what I've written and produced, because certain times if I didn't write it for an artist but I gave it to them, I don't feel like they can do it the way that I envisioned it. I finally got to a place in my career where I can get what's in my head to come out of the speakers. Because before it's like it's close, but it's hard to really create what you hear in your mind. I can create that now. But it's also a challenge. You take Little Duval. He's talented. I did the pull-up record for him and Ty Dolla $ign, me and my partner, B Flat. We've done different records for him. He's known as a comedian, but he's really a dope artist. So when you have those challenges in front of you where people don't necessarily believe, that's the fun part. That's the only thing that I can say that I enjoy more than performing myself. Watching somebody else blossom that nobody really believed. You know what I'm saying? I like that. I like that. That come from behind story. You know what I'm saying? The little
No
man.
doubt. Now, you think you could do a hit song for me?
I feel like I could do a hit song for just about anybody. I think God put that in me. I think it's him working through me. But yeah, heck
yeah. Oh man, if you can get a hit with me, boy, oh my goodness. Now when I was young, I used to want to be James Brown.
Oh, hey,
say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. I used to love.
But can you dance though? Because James was just, you know what I'm saying?
They say I make up my own dances. I make my dance up as I go, man. And back then when I used to have that money, it was funny. Everybody started doing what I was doing. I was like, I told y'all I knew what I was doing. But we'll say that one for another day on you working on my song, man. And then I'll go take some dancing lessons. How about that? I ain't never took no dancing lessons, but I'll go get me some dancing lessons and we'll see what happens then. All right, I'm gonna do the dancing lessons first. That'll show my commitment.
No, you know what? Truthfully, it depends on what kind of music you want to do. You mentioned James Brown, but if you're just doing some player, fly music, you ain't even got it. We could just come up with the record. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you saying I could get fly? I ain't never been fly.
No, I don't believe that. I already know the legendary. Okay, I know that ain't true.
I ain't never been. I was right there with Michael Blackson. He was the ugliest one in the room, and I was second.
Nah. Hey, that ain't what the legend says. You know what I'm saying? I already listen. I've done my homework. I know. Okay.
All right. Well, we're gonna leave it at that then. Now, what about you? You did a legendary song with Tupac after his death. I never. Pac is one of the artists I never got to meet, and I wish I would have. I think that our spirits would have vibed because. I was telling somebody that had I got out of jail when Pac and Biggie was alive, that I believe that I wouldn't have to work so hard when I got out of prison. I believe that those were the kind of dudes that would have reached out and pull you along. They gave a lot of people opportunities. But what was it like doing that song with Pac?
It's crazy how things are just land in your lap. I was literally in LA working. And I get a call like, go to the record store and pick up this Mr. CD and learn this hook. So I was like, what hook? They're like, you gonna go do a song with Pac like tomorrow, or on Pac tomorrow. And I was like, wait, what? And it was, I think Tone and Pope produced it, if I'm not mistaken. And I went in, and truthfully, there's always been an insecurity as an artist that I've had because I've been groomed a lot by my older group member. So being in the studio, I was always with him, and he oversaw a lot of things. This was the beginning process of me being by myself and having to figure it out. So I just went in the studio and sang my ass off. That's all I knew to do. I was going to sing as hard as I could, do the best I could, and I was like, I hope it's good enough. So they said, okay, it's probably going to be second single. Next thing you know, like a day or two later, I get a call from Miss Afeni Shakur, asking me for my mama address. I'm like, uh-oh, what I done did? She like, no, I want to send your mama some flowers. That's the first single. Next week, we need you back at the studio because we about to shoot this video. It all just happened so fast.
Oh, that's dope.
And it was so amazing. And it was such a big blessing. There's some things that happen in life where you know, okay, yeah, I'll grind. Yeah, I feel like I got some talent. But you know darn well it ain't had nothing to do with you and that talent. It was just ordained and something that just happened because God was like, you know what? I've been watching you. Here you go. And it was one of those moments.
Man, that's funny how you told me that story. I was talking to my boy James Fauneroy over at 1500 and nothing, and he was
He's
telling
one of
me.
my favorites. He's one of my favorites of ever. He's the most talented, one of the most talented human beings ever.
Man, he told me the first gig he got, he was in there telling the man he could write. He was like, he knew he had never wrote a song before. And the dude said, can you write a song? He said, yeah, I can write the song. And we just never know where our opportunities come from, but we have to keep our minds open and you know, pursue our dreams, because that's the only way that we're gonna get to where we're trying to get to. But it was funny that that you said that, and you know, I remember me and James sitting there and we was just talking about each other's life, and I was like, man, how did you get to be so big? You know what I'm saying? And he was like, man, I didn't know I was gonna make it in this shit. He said, man, I might have been going to jail, you know, but I just got a break, you know, and somebody gave me the opportunity. Now, you made a lot of songs, and we know a lot of babies been made off of them songs, man. Whether it be solo or with a group. Man, which one is your favorite?
It's probably a record that's not a single. I will say the record I wrote for Jamie Foxx is one of my favorites because I felt at the time like a lot of records that he was recording weren't him. I remember him from when he did his first album that really wasn't as successful as it should have been. But Jamie had
A lot of babies been made off of them songs, man. Whether it be solo or with a group. Man, which one is your favorite?
It's probably a record that's not a single. I will say the record I wrote for Jamie Foxx is one of my favorites because I felt at the time like a lot of records that he was recording weren't him. I remember him from when he did his first album that really wasn't as successful as it should have been. But Jamie had taken me under his wing in LA, showed me around, and I felt a certain loyalty towards him where I wanted to be able to let people hear him and who he is. So I specifically wrote the record for him, and it's called Forecast. They call it Storm. That record, and I did a record for Lloyd called I Could Change Your Life. And it's funny because in this business, there's a bunch of cats that's swerving down y'all cool, and it don't work like that. I could text an artist that sold 5 records, and they take a week to text me back. I hit Jamie Foxx a couple weeks ago, and literally in 10 minutes, he hit me, how's the family doing? You know what I mean? And then
Right.
with Lloyd, he wanted my record to be the next single. They was like, nah. He was like, okay, let's start on the next album then. Like that certain loyalty and realness that is rare in this game.
Oh my goodness! Say that again.
It's rare.
Can I
get
you to say that again? Because you're
it's
so right.
rare. It's rare, man.
You can help dudes and do everything you can for them, and as soon as they look like they on their way, they forget about you. Oh, what you say your name was, and what did you do for me?
Man, listen, I won't even say who, but I had an artist, his A&R. So we sent an invoice for a record. Like, I always look out. I don't hit nobody over the head. We sent an invoice for the record. And my man was kind of complaining a little bit, and his A&R had to tell him to go look me up. Like, it don't even matter what I've done in the past. Like, all that stuff don't matter. You know what I mean? I'm looking towards the future. I want more. But it's funny that in any other business, if you won an Oscar in 1980, when they introduce you tomorrow, what do they say? Oscar award winning. But in the music industry, it's really, well, what have you done for me lately? Oh, you ain't had no record out, or you ain't. And for me, I don't think that's fair to artists because there's so many great artists out, but we don't get them their flowers until the funeral. Then we talk about how great they were, but they don't get to hear it. It's just crazy to me.
Well, that's with everybody, though. You know, we just don't celebrate our heroes when they're around. You know, he made the statement a couple weeks ago is that the guys that killed Malcolm X didn't know he was Malcolm X when they killed him, because if they did, it was no way possible that they would have killed him.
That's true. That's true.
Now I see you work with Tyrese, my man. I had the privilege of meeting Tyrese. I told QD3 that I thought Tyrese would be somebody great to play my role in the movie. And me and Tyrese has been cool. Matter of fact, I ran into him going to Atlanta about 5 months ago, right before the pandemic broke out. What was it like for you working with Tyrese?
That was probably, that point in my career was the scariest, but it was when I discovered the most about myself, because the backstory on that is I'm from Minneapolis. I'm from where Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis are from. They're like, it's God, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And rightfully so, to an extent, you know, when it comes to music. So, you know, we have family that are intertwined and all that. So we used to sneak out to the studio, and finally we auditioned for them. And they decided to sign another group instead of us. So I always held that, like, dang, they didn't think we were good enough. But, you know, God does things for a certain reason. We ended up going with Clive, and that worked out. But I get a call, and they're like, we need you to, as soon as you get off tour, we need you to go to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis' studio. You're doing this record on the soundtrack. Now, who I was supposed to be doing it with kept changing. It was interchangeable. Finally, I get to the studio. It was Case, Genuine, Tyrese. Now, remember, I'm from a group. So I'm around these three wonderful, amazing, talented solo artists. So I'm like, man, what I'm going to do? But then on the other end, I got Jimmy and Terry, who I thought I wasn't good enough. So I first, all that beginning singing, this is for my brothers in the hood and the high rises. And then at the end, that my brother, all that stuff, I just made it up because I was going so hard, doing too much, really.
Yeah.
Trying to show Jimmy and Terry
that they messed up.
That you should have signed your little bro.
Yeah.
But in the end, it brought the most out of me, because I was a little bit insecure being around these three amazing solo acts. But they showed me, you know what, I can hang with the big boys. Ty's always been cool. You know, Case has always been cool. I've worked on other records for Genuine. He's like one of the humblest dudes ever. I think Tyrese is just navigating life like the rest of us. I think that all of us, I say it like this because I don't want to get on the interview with a legend and be BSing. I feel like, including myself, we're learning to navigate this social media thing. So either you say too much or you say too little. And all of this is forever. I tell people now, they be like Chris Brown or this person, that person. Look, man, when I came out, if there was camera phones and social media, I'd be dead or in jail right now. Or the most hated man in America. The problem is now they have all these things and people record themselves or somebody else records you, and then it's there forever. So Ty, you know, he's learned that just like the rest of us. I've erased a few texts or tweets and, you know, messages. He's learning the same thing. So besides that, I think that they'll try to use interactions and things that you've done and mistakes you've made, being human, to diminish who you are and what you've accomplished. With somebody like Ty and his greatness, I don't think you can ever do that. Right. But they'll look for the littlest thing. He was in the verses and he accidentally, I don't know if it was auto spell or autocorrect, it said tile or something. It was something, a word was misspelled. And they were using it almost like a meme. Everybody can become a meme so quick. It's crazy.
No doubt, no doubt. Wait, you already told me you from Indianapolis.
Minneapolis.
Okay. I'm thinking about getting into the music business. I'm gonna need some help. Not with me singing though. I got a couple ideas. I got a couple ideas that I believe could make some billions, some B's, not some M's. That I'm gonna need somebody to help me because I can't sing a lick. If you can make a hit out of me, you a bad boy. So I'm gonna be asking you about that one too. But I definitely got a plan. I'll probably be ready a year after next once my marijuana products get off the ground, because I want to be fully financed. You ever heard of the General?
Yeah.
You heard of the General?
Yeah.
I want to steal a couple plays out of his book. You know, he wrote a book one time and I read it, and I want to do some of the things that he did and see if it worked for me like it worked for him. What are you doing in the community to support the community?
You know, it's funny because I honestly feel like it starts at home first. But besides that, I try to give back. We just did a Mother's Day giveaway. I was giving away an Apple computer to a mother in need. For me, it's always just trying to give and give. You know what I'm saying? It's hard because, especially now, not being able to leave the house, and you want to see where your money's going, or you want to be involved. Me, I'm big on trying to be involved in being much more than just a figurehead or somebody that throws some money towards a problem, because that doesn't solve it. I do both. I do both, but the other issue is my faith gets in the way, in the sense of, if I give to somebody, I don't want them to broadcast it. I don't want anybody to know, because that's what it say in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times I give to so many people. Listen, people around me be so mad as much as I extend myself, because I feel like the more that I give, the more I'm going to receive.
Oh, no doubt. It's like a boomerang. You throw it out there, it's going to come right back to you. You can't help that. What's next for you?
Well, we got the single "You Are." This I really feel like it's incredible. Finishing the project. I'm doing a project for Africa too, Afro Beats project. We're doing the Naughty Next project. We're doing that. So Next and Naughty by Nature is doing an EP that'll probably be my final project as far as recording with the group, unless something changes. I'm trying to work on my group members' album as well. But I've been really focusing on the music, man, having fun. My partner got an album, Brian B. Flat Cook, as well. So music, it's all music. You know, raising my daughter, you know, trying to be a better person every day, reading and doing things like that. So for me, that's the big thing.
That's good. That's good. Well, I got a few things, like I said, that I want to do, and I'm hoping that when I get myself all the way in
say
position,
no more. You say no more.
I might take you up on that record too. Now I might, because I ain't scared.
Say no more.
I'm gonna tell you, I ain't scared. Now, if you say you can do it, I might come down there and let you look me up.
Well, listen, I honestly believe in my heart there's nothing I can't do with God guide me. There's nothing I can't do.
Okay. All right. That's what it is. I'm going to take you up on that. I really appreciate you tuning in with us today. How can everybody find you?
Man, listen, they can find me. If I'm not in the studio, they can find me online every now and then. JustRL, that's where I'll be at. I got my website, justrl.com. I just want to thank you, man, for the opportunity of using your platform to speak to me, man. I know you're a legend, man, and I know you've done great things. You're going to do greater things. I see the metamorphosis of what you're doing and who you're becoming, and I know that it's easy to go and do things that you're used to see you do what you're doing. I'm amazed, man, and that shows me and the people around me that you could do anything, bro, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And coming from another legend, you know, I had to say salute you.
You too, man. Appreciate you, bro.
All right, one out.
One.